Just tape this speech so I can leave.
You're being recorded.
I did not know that.
Now you're gonna say that.
Did not know that.
Hi there, my name is Brad Yutzi. I'm doing a persuasive speech for a speech class at Ivy Tech. Today's date is April 10th, 2010.
Now stop.
Hi there, did you know that there are over 42 million abortions being performed annually throughout the entire world? And over 1 million abortions annually in the United States alone? These are acts that are harming our great nation. They are harming our entire world. And we as a people of this nation have an obligation to know the truth about what is going on with abortion, the effects of it, and how we can take our part in trying to stop this from happening. It's a well-known fact that most mammals in the animal kingdom don't even kill their own young. But somehow, we as human beings with our greater intellect and resources and emotions of love, we do that to our own. And it is a horrendous action that is causing damage to our entire nation, our entire world. Today I want to share with you a little bit about why this is so damaging to not only the mothers that are having them, but their families and our entire nation. What we can do and why there's hope for change. First, let's talk about the repercussions of abortion. The first major effect of abortion is the psychological effects on the woman. The women that are doing these abortions have up to a 60% chance of experiencing what is called as post-abortion syndrome. And what that is it's basically depression, it's guilt, it's shame, and it's remorse over what they've done. And it comes with a laundry list of negative emotions, anxiety, insomnia, and so on. These women that are experiencing these emotions are also experiencing a higher divorce rate among that group of people. The second side effect of abortion for these women is the physical aspect. 2% of all women that have abortions will experience some life-threatening illness directly related to that abortion. Abortion is the 5th leading cause of maternal deaths in the United States. In fact, there is an increased risk for breast cancer of up to 30%. There were 15 states that did a study to find the correlation between breast cancer and abortion. And 10 out of the 15 confirmed that there is a direct relation from having an abortion to receiving breast cancer. And, you know, and our economy right now in this country is really not doing so well. Social Security is in the worst position it's ever been in. We have more people retiring than workers to support the Social Security system. We have less consumers, which means less demand for good, which means less jobs. There have been nearly 50 million children that have been aborted since the legalization of abortion. Out of those 50 million, you could probably bet that there would have been some scientists that would have invented cutting-edge technology. There may have been congressmen and women, and who knows, maybe even a president among those people that we aborted. A simple quote that I found very profound, it's witty, but it's from Ronald Reagan, and he says, "I've noticed that everybody that is for abortion has already been born." And I find it ironic that the people that are standing up and pushing for the agenda of abortion to go forward are only doing that because they have the grace of God to not be aborted themselves. So those are the consequences. But we don't have to live with those. There are actions and there are things that we can do to be proactive in the cause for stopping abortion. You know, the first thing that we can do is we can pray. And not everybody believes in prayer, but prayers never hurt anybody. And there is always time to pray. We can pray for the women that are going through the hard times after they have an abortion. We can pray for the doctors and nurses that they would be convicted about the actions they're performing. Pray for the legislators, our clergy members, and the families that are suffering around those abortion victims. I'm going to read a quote from Martin Luther. He says, "All who call on God in true faith, earnestly from heart, will certainly be heard, and will receive what they have asked and desired." That's something that Martin Luther believed, and I believe that as well, and I hope you do too. We can let our voice be heard by locally contacting journalists, newspapers, local congressmen and women, anti-abortion groups, and we can say how we feel, and these people can help us be a voice. We can donate money to pro-life groups, adoption agencies, and we can find people running for government positions that are saying and believing and doing the right things, and we can support them financially as well. Lastly, we can vote. You know, I think if you live in the United States, you have an obligation and a right to vote. We can learn about what these candidates that are running for office stand for, and then we can support them, and then we can let our voice be heard by voting. You know, those are all reasons for change. But why is change possible? Well, we are not hopeless or helpless, and we do have power as a people when we come together in unison. I'll read a quote from Franklin Roosevelt. He said, "The only sure bulwark of continuing liberty is a government strong enough to protect the interests of the people, and the people strong enough and well enough informed to maintain its sovereign control over the government." He believed that, and I believe that too, that we need to hold our government accountable. The government's number one priority to the citizens of the United States is to protect all citizens, and that includes the unborn, not just those that can speak for themselves. You know, we're going to get what we ask for. The people that have voted in these laws to legalize abortion, we put them there as a nation. And so I encourage you not to have a follow the herd mentality, because that will just continue us down this negative course of action. Vote pro-life and hold the candidates that are working for us accountable to the choices they make. You know, large groups of people have come together, and when they have a large vision, there's normally a large change that follows. America started out of a group of people that decided they were not going to back down to the tyranny of their government. They weren't going to back down and just accept things as though they were. They decided to stand up and be vocal and to do the right thing, even in the face of persecution. And that's why America got started. Dr. Martin Luther King was one of the greatest men that stood for freedom in the past century. He paid for it dearly with his life. But he exhibited boldness and courage, and he did the right thing for his people, and they are free today. And he had a great part in that. So, as we can see, abortion is a great tragedy in our nation. However, we are not helpless, and we have some power if we come together. Remember this, government's first priority is to protect all of its citizens, including the unborn children. I want to show you a picture of my son, Joseph. He was born at 26 weeks. He weighed 1 pound, 9 ounces. And today, this is a recent picture of him. He's healthy, he's growing, and he's a perfectly normal child. According to the Center for Disease Control, 1.3% of all abortions done in America happen after 21 weeks in the womb. And many of those are after 24 weeks. As you can imagine, they are taking lives that can live outside of the womb with a little bit of help, a little bit of care. This is a tragedy that must stop in our nation. You know, God's intention was that we love Him with all our hearts and love our neighbors ourselves. That includes the lives of the unborn children. So I encourage you to reach out to those around you that you know are in crisis, that have gone through maybe an abortion, families that are experiencing that. I implore you to not relent in fighting for what's right. Don't give up and don't count it as hopeless. And I urge you to keep your eye on the hope of change. Because as long as you do that, there's hope for change in the future. Thank you.